Hello, friends. Oh, the season of death is upon us. Can you feel it? Those of you in the Northern Hemisphere? That change, that loss, that shifting into silence, but first the chaos. Whew, what a week, huh? How many of you felt that full moon earlier this week? Whew, when I rolled the I Ching for this moon cycle that I posted earlier in the week, I was like, damn, that's dark. It was going from hexagram 12 to hexagram 2, both of the dark, deep feminine hexagrams. 12 being the delta, when we go face down into the earth and feel ourselves held in that way. And how scary it can be to let go of the edges of our bodies and be held in that way, in total surrender. This is the season of surrender, season of loss, season of old grief coming right up against our skin. The slender sadness of September, in all of its beauty. Its beauty is sort of fueled by that slender sadness. Whew, had a lot of old grief come up this week. A lot of old habits of mind, a lot of old trauma patterns, to the point where I couldn't tell like what's new and what's old. The old patterns just completely intertwining with the old, to the point where I couldn't tell what was real. It was that time to just lay down, lay all the way down, all the way down. And how much courage do we have to go into that deep, deep down without calling it depression, without avoiding it? I went all the way into that sadness. It's the only way to come out the other side of it, is to meet it completely and take it all the way in. To love it in the same way I love joy. Death is the gift that nobody wants to open. There are so many dead places still inside me that I discovered this week. Feeling into how soft they are, how soft those places of decay are, and how hard I tend to get around them. And I see that pattern with my clients too. It's like the softer that place becomes, the softer that place of decay becomes, the harder the skin that we put around it to protect it, so that no one will see it or smell it or taste it on us. It's like that thing that we put in a Tupperware in the back of the fridge that we think we're going to eat later. And then we go to clean out our fridge in the spring or whenever, and we pull it out and it's like liquefied and unrecognizable, and the smell just like punches you like a shit fist. Oof, how many memories are like that? How many experiences that we couldn't metabolize the impact of them at the time, and so they get lodged in the body as trauma. And then they start to decay in that place, untouched. They start to wander through our lives like hungry ghosts, devouring love wherever we find it, leaving us only intermittently at ease with being loved, as Matthew Zapruder wrote in his wonderful poem, The Prelude. How can we meet this season? How can we let the slender sadness of grief all the way in and let it open us and let it dissolve those hard places over the spots in us that are beginning to decay? We all have them. They're in there somewhere. We can often see them where they wander outside of us into our relationships, into our way of meeting the world as a hungry ghost. Where's the hungry ghost that walks behind me where I can't see it half the time until I'm looking the other way and turning away from grief and turning away from suffering. And then that hungry ghost slips out behind my back and starts creating havoc, ruining everything it touches, devouring everything good. Whew. So easy to avoid that. And sometimes we have to. Sometimes it's truly just too much. I mean, for me this week, it was like, okay, that I had to titrate. There's only so much of this I can take. Thank God there was a new episode of British Baking Show on Netflix today. Because that shit's a balm. Ah, but man, when you let suffering fuck you open, you come out the other side renewed. You come out the other side shaped into who you actually are, shaped according to your essence. But can you let it all the way in? Can you open your body and your heart and your mind to suffering, to discomfort? Can you say to yourself, I don't need this to be different. I don't need this to be different. That's a hard thing to say when things are really challenging. I don't need this to be different. I'm going to be with this exactly as it is. And let it make me. Let it take me from boundlessness back into form. In a form that I don't know what that's going to look like. Am I willing to not know who I'm becoming and step into it anyway? Do I have that courage? Can my heart be that undefended? Can my skin be that porous? Can I be that responsible for my field beyond my skin? Not always. But overall, yeah. Because I know there's no other way. There's no other way. So to those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, I hope you will be gentle with yourself as we go into this weekend. And I hope that you will hold yourself gently and also let grief fuck you open. There is so much to be gained through loss. Things that can only be gained through loss. If you'd like to be witnessed while you do that work, I have a new Fuck Suffering group starting on Thursday. Come join me. Or don't. I still show up here regardless. Because I love interacting with all of you, frankly. I like this little practice group we have here. This little sliver of Facebook. So be gentle with yourself, but also stay open. Oh, it's so important to stay in your body, to be able to feel that clench. Oh, because if you're running from one distraction after another, you'll never feel it when your whole system just goes, oh. And if you don't notice the clench, it's really hard to root yourself back into softness and permeability and belonging to the world. Because we all do. We all belong to this world together. We are all co-creating this world together. So what is your contribution today? If you had this day to do again, would you do it exactly the same? And if not, what would you do differently? Because how you do this day is how you do your whole life. How you hold yourself today in the world with what level of openness is how you hold yourself through your entire life. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. I'm I'm going to make an onion galette for the first time because it's on my cooking bucket list. Pie crust. Sounds like a good fall idea. It's the little things. It's really only a bunch of little things. Have a beautiful weekend. Thank you for listening. For as long as you're sick, the whole world will be sick. And as you get well, the whole world will be well. That's from the Vimalakirti Sutra. It's a good one, even if you're not a Buddhist. Bye.